Hi, everybody. Mark Lowry here. And over at marklowry.com, Danny Phillips has got a great deal going on over there. She's got a promo code you can put in at the checkout. If you put save 15 at the checkout, you'll save 15% off of everything you buy at marklowry.com this week. It's only for a week. Who knows what she'll offer next week, but for this week you save 15% if you put save 15 in the promo code. Hey everybody, Mark Lowry here, and that's Paul Johnson's head going down there getting a chair ready. Hey, I am in Nashville. That's the reason I don't have Oprah lighting. This is Paul Johnson's cabinet. And I'm so glad you're here with me. I have so looked forward to this concert, this show. I've got to say hello to some people. I want to say hello to Colleen. I miss you. Wish you were here in this other chair, but you're not. I don't know where you are, but you're not in Nashville.
That's my chair.
Yeah. And my brother Mike. Hey, Mike, I know you always watch. I love it when Mike calls me after a show and tells me if I did good. You know, you always like it when your older brother thinks you did good. And let's see what else is going on here. Oh, over at marklowry.com, this little project right here, this hymn CD, it's one of the many things you can get 15% off? 15% off on. And this is a CD that won a Dove Award. And Paul Johnson, come here, Paul. Paul Johnson arranged it, produced it, and he let me come to his house tonight because he's got good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's the only reason he's here. Not to see me. He wants my
No,
Wi-Fi.
I always have dinner with you or lunch or something. We go to the Waffle House, our favorite place. You know,
And you pay.
I always pay because you did this wonderful CD for me. Tell them what happened. Y'all know what these are? Look at these. He still has these. These are the charts that he wrote. What was this song? I come to the garden alone. Look at all that. That's a lot of writing.
So here's the deal.
What happened?
Old school, we did this all by pencil, and then it was copied by a professional copyist. That looks like this.
Right.
And then all the parts are printed out that look like this. This is a violin.
Does Jesus Care? I love that song.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And so during the session, we got a whole orchestra in the room, and we finished one, and I'm about to go to another. I need this to conduct to. This is what I'm looking at.
All right.
Because it's got the whole orchestra.
Okay.
So I couldn't find the chart anywhere.
Yeah.
And guess where it was?
Where?
You had stolen it.
When?
You were taking pictures over in the corner.
Are you sure it was me?
And you were using this as window dressing for your picture.
Well, that's what the photographer wanted. I didn't know you needed it.
I needed it bad.
In fact, I think we may have used that picture. I
think you did.
Anyway, this CD's got a lot of pretty songs on it. I love to tell the story. Y'all, it's got to love to tell the story. Bunch of great songs. But I want to tell you
Does Jesus Care?
Does Jesus Care?
Is worth the whole album, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I think also your dad passed away right at that time.
Yeah. He had just passed away. Yeah. So
because it says, does Jesus care?
When I've
said goodbye to the dearest on earth to me, and my sad heart aches till it nearly breaks. Does he care? Does he see? Oh, yes, he cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good old one.
I love it.
And Cynthia's watching Character. We both love Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia. I hope you get to feeling better. Y'all pray for Cynthia. She's got cancer. Isn't that what it is? Cancer. Mm-hmm. You know what? And thank you for praying for Philip's dad. He was so grateful. And, Reba came into town.
Yeah?
Yeah, she came to visit me. And I'm going to play at the end of the Booth Brothers. The Booth Brothers are here today. At the end of the video I recorded. Now, I had to do that in advance because I've come to Nashville and I knew I was going to be here today. And so they were in town. I had them come to my house. I set up my camera with my, all the stuff I need. And we had the best time. I'm playing the whole 28 minutes. They sing the glory down, those smooth, rich voices. And at the end of that, if you're still with me, I asked Reba if she would sing a song that she wrote from something that I had said. She'd heard me say at a concert. And I love the message of the song, so stay with us. Also, I want to tell you, my buddy, Dino Kartsanakis.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you've known him forever.
I've known him since 1971.
Did you ever arrange anything for him?
No, I don't know why that didn't happen, but when I met him, I had just done my first album, which was a piano album.
Just piano?
I just sat down and played 10 hymns.
Where's that album? You just got all your masters somewhere, right? He's got like 20 years of masters from the Paul Johnson singers. You might have heard of them.
Yeah, I just received 400 master tapes from the West Coast, and we're going to digitize most of them, get them up on.
I want to hear them because the harmonics. Did you know Take Six, the group? He wouldn't say this, but they credit him for learning their harmonics. They were kind of raised in the same denomination, and they knew who you were, and they listened to your albums. And
they used to send me their demo tapes.
They did? Take Six did?
Yeah. I still have them somewhere.
That would be fun. So Reba came to town, and Marty Stewart called her while she was at my house and said that there is a sculptor in Conroe, Texas. His name, let me just tell you, his name is Craig Campobello. And Marty said, y'all need to go up there and meet him. So we went up there and met him, and he does so many cool sculptures. How you say it, sculptures? This is one. Okay, I forgot I brought my mouse so I don't have to lean up so far. Well, have we laughed? We've had a lot of laughs, haven't we? Yeah. Hey, this is Craig Campobello. Campobella. He's a great guy. I just can't say his name. So here we are looking at my favorite of all his sculptures. And if anybody wants to buy this from me, I would appreciate it.
Isn't that beautiful?
This is called Will the Circle Be Unbroken, right? Mm-hmm. And he's giving God the glory. He's sitting on the third step, the top of his game, and he's giving God the glory. Look at that face. I love that, and this man created it right here. God blessed your brain with us. A good idea.
He gave me something to do where I'd stay out of everybody's way at least a year at a time.
So that whole bank in Conroe, Texas, it's called the Texas Pride. It's right on the freeway. If you're anywhere near Conroe, Texas, it's that big white building. There's 3 buildings there, and there's a gold leaf statue of Lady Liberty, Texas Lady Liberty, or whatever it is. She's out there. He's sitting out there like that, and it's amazing. He's really a talented guy, and it was fun to meet him. But back to Dino. That's why I have notes. Cynthia says she likes me better on dinner conversations because I'm not so frantic. Because Andrew Greer kind of, he kind of guides me like a simple old man. Just through. But he's not here. There's 2 simple old men sitting there. So Dino, please y'all, go to Dino's fan page on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, go to Dino fan page. He asked me to tell you to do that. So I'm doing it. He's got September concert dates. He's going to be out there on the road. And he's about 100. Do you think he's that
not.
old? How do you think he is?
I just saw him. We had a
he's about 100. Well, no, he's probably in his late 80s, wouldn't you think?
Dino's younger than me.
He's going to kill me. You can Google it. Nobody can hide their age anymore.
Sorry, Dino.
You know I love you, Dino. Okay, what else? Montel Jordan. Da, 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 da. What's that song? Dun dun dun. You ask your kids, they'll know it. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Well, he was a big deal, and now he's a pastor, and he is in Nashville, I believe, and he's on the most recent Dinner Conversations, which was released today. And I want you to see this. Andrew asked me to show it. Watch this.
I think it's interesting when you have to be around all white people to get to Christ.
Okay.
Or I'm more comfortable being around all black people coming to Christ. If Christ says I'm coming back for a church, for a bride, without spot or blemish, that to me doesn't say I'm coming back for the evangelical church. I think he says I'm coming back for my bride. And I think that bride is consisting of a whole lot of different people and nationalities that Jesus died for. And I understand each church has a great diversity and a great historical value.
Tradition.
Tradition, and I understand it because tradition is important. I think what we are to our individual churches is extremely valuable. Who we are for God's church, I think, is very, very inclusive because he's coming back for his church. He's not coming back for an individual piece of the church. He's coming back for his body.
I like that. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back for his body. Y'all, I just figured out the comments. Look at this. Patty Elvis Walker, Karen McBride, I see you're here. Sharon Young O'Connor. I think I can... Watch this, Paul. I can drag it. Hey, Lisa. Henderson Jensen, thank you for tuning in. Lisa McGill, let's see what you have to say. Screen froze and audio's off. Oh, no. Well, it's on here. Can everybody hear? I hope you can. Hello from West Moreland. Here's, what else? I love this. Here's this says, Mark, what is your account on Instagram? Oh, Mark, was your account on Instagram hacked? No, let me tell you, if you get an Instagram is crazy. That's where all the stuff happens. But if you get any kind of communication one-on-one with a Mark Lowry on Instagram, it's not me. And if you're convinced that it is me, ask them to FaceTime with you, because I know how to FaceTime. And it won't be, because they'll never do it, because you won't see this pretty face on the other end of the FaceTime. You'll see somebody somewhere, I don't know where, but they're trying to get your money. That's what they're after. So if you've got a friend request from a Mark Lowry on FaceTime, it ain't me. Okay, let's get to, I want to tell you, I've got to tell you one more thing. You know, we've been trying to raise $20,000 for Food for the Hungry. I'm not going to show you that commercial, but if you go to food, somebody put up the link. Food, I don't know what it is. I'm going to go ahead and show the commercial. The Booth brothers are coming up right after this. Help me get to $20,000, y'all. We are just $4,000 away to reach this goal. You can help save thousands of lives by giving a generous gift to Food for the Hungry today.
Your gift will directly help Rohingya refugees who are currently living in dire, poverty-stricken refugee camp conditions in Bangladesh.
And get this, your gift will be matched 22 times for an exponential impact. Food for the Hungry is on the ground now, providing medical treatment to hundreds of thousands of these vulnerable children and their families.
This is the example that has been set for us by Jesus, that we would help our neighbors in their time of need. And this is what Food for the Hungry is doing to help relieve the refugee crisis in Bangladesh. So you can give today, partner with Dinner Conversations as we partner with Food for the Hungry.
Yes.
By giving generously at fh.org/dinner.
And don't forget, not only will your gift be matched 22 times, but for every dollar you donate, we will enter you into a drawing for our Season 2 Grand Prize Giveaway. And
what is the giveaway?
it's dinner with me and Andrew in Houston, Texas at my favorite restaurant.
And right after dinner, we're coming back to Mark's house to be a guest on Mondays with Mark live broadcast.
And your travel and accommodations are included.
We also have a VIP package for everyone who gives $1,000 or more.
Which includes some signed CDs, DVDs, and books from Mark and me, and also a stack of books and music from some of our Season 2 guests, including Kathy Lee Gifford, Danny Goki, Amy Grant, and the most special part is a handwritten...
Oh yes, I'm gonna write your favorite line, whatever it is, from Mary Did You Know, and you'll get that one, like when she kissed her little baby, she kissed the face of God. That's probably my favorite. And then I'll autograph that and send that to you, and you can keep that, and then when I'm dead, it'll be worth $2 or $3.
So remember to give now, give generously at fh.org/dinner. Every dollar is an entry into our Season 2 Grand Prize giveaway.
My turn, Mark! It's my turn! Come on! Good job! Come on! We're in Mark's house! Yeah. Yeah. Where's like a child by the seashore, building castles in the sand, foolish dreams I have dreamed day by day, leaving God out completely, till the day my castle's grand fell apart in the tide and swept away. Each life storms will gather, rains descend and wild winds blow. Wise the man who in God is anchored fast. Are you then like that wise man? Are you anchored? Do you know you are safe till the storms of life are past? Castles built upon the sand, though they seem to be so grand, will surely melt away. For in life's raging storm, they cannot stand. In the rock of the ages, all my hopes are built today, and in the rock they will never pass away. And in the rock they will never pass away.
The Booth Brothers started what year?
1989.
1989.
Well, we say that. We sang for the first time, and that is our starting
Our
time.
official saying.
Yeah, we sang Easter Sunday morning, 1989, Bill Gaither's Because He Lives in Fellowship Baptist Church. And then it was
In Ocala, Florida?
Brandon,
Brandon,
Florida. Yeah. And then it was April, so it was nearly a year later, thereabout. There was a group that was supposed to sing at our home church, and they backed out for our church homecoming. And there was enough time that we knew it, and so we, along with a guy named Tim Sievert, my dad, Ronnie, and I, and Tim Sievert, he played piano and sang bass, and we learned.
So you were a quartet.
We were a quartet with a piano, live piano, and we sang 8 songs. I think it was 8 songs.
It was 8 songs, yeah.
That's all we knew.
And that was the beginning of the Booth Brothers. But your father raised you in this music, and you told me was with Elvis?
The year before Elvis died. He joined when Bill Bays, the great tenor, when he resigned. JD called Dad, and Dad went, and the deal was, when he wasn't on tour with Elvis, he was on tour with the Stamps and whatnot. The first time he went out, he was out for 6 weeks. And he didn't want to be gone from home that much.
Right.
So he told JD, this is longer than I want to be out. So he went back home. A year later, Elvis passed. He died the next year.
And that was probably in the what?
That was 76.
Okay, so from 76 to 1989, what was he doing?
Well, he came off the road. We moved back to Tampa, and I was 11, and I'm 6 years older than Michael. So we were raised there.
I was younger.
And Dad got became an entrepreneur, got into, believe it or not, painting and carpet cleaning and whatnot, and for a small business owner, started doing very well. And he had a foreman that ran his jobs for him. He had more free time, and he started playing some extra golf. And during that time, he would have a social drink, and he had one too many, and it got him. And to make a long story short, through the entire 80s, Dad struggled with alcoholism, and never abusive to us kids. I mean, we are very blessed. But the bottom line was we took him in 1990 to Elam Home, sponsored by Thomas Road there in Lynchburg.
Yeah.
And Halloween morning, October 31st, he had been there for almost a month. And that's the first time in 12 years he had not had a drink. And he went a month. And there, they have a morning devotional time with the men, and then they work during the day, and they're very gentle with the men, but they keep them in the Word. And October 31st, about 10:30 in the morning, David Horsley, the director of Elam.
I know David.
He went to he said, Ron, is there something bothering you? And he said, come in the office. So he brought Dad in his office, and he said, what's troubling you? He said, I've been praying for the assurance of my salvation. It's not there, and it won't come. And he said, well, Ron, he said, you can settle this right now if do you want to? And he said, yes, sir, I do. 10:30 a.m., October 31st, 1990, Dad, whether he was born again before, you didn't see the fruit of the Spirit in his life, because it's like he said, but he made it right there. He's never had a drop since. When he got back from Elam, basically, is when we started singing together as the Booth Brothers.
Really?
And Dad would share that testimony. Yeah, sure did.
And so he sang with y'all for how long?
Till November of 98.
Yeah.
So from 90 to 8 years?
Yeah.
8 years.
And were you just working in Florida mostly, or were you like
Yeah.
When did the Booth Brothers take off? When did I hear of y'all?
In 93, I think Charlie Waller of the Grand Ole Gospel Reunion brought us to Greenville, South Carolina to that event. And then Eddie Crook of Morningstar Records saw us, offered us a record deal. But having heard what we heard about the challenges of being on the road and some of the stuff that went with it, we thought, Ronnie and I really didn't want to do this. Not full time.
Yeah.
And we thought, that's just stuff I don't want to have to deal with and go through. So we turned it down. Within the next few months, we realized we're singing a lot on the weekend, we're working, we're killing ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them had to go.
Yeah.
My wife, Vicki, said, well, what's that bird in hand thing? She said, Bird, if Eddie Crook offers that deal, you ought to take it. So I remember it was a little bit before Grand Ole Gospel in 1994. Ronnie and I were standing in his driveway in Brandon, Florida, and decided if Eddie offers us the deal, we'll keep going. If he doesn't, we're going to go to Dad and say we can't do this.
Sort of like a fleece?
It was a fleece.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it really was. Yeah.
It was, and we prayed, Lord, if this is something you
We
want
want to be obedient, just tell us what to do.
And he offered the deal, and we took it, and that was so in 95, that was December of 94, we went up there, recorded. It was released 95, started getting national airplay, started doing a few dates outside of the state. And then about the time Dad left, we're still in a little van and trailer. I mean, just
4x6 trailer.
4x6. And so we started picking up a little more and doing some more. And
were you doing the funny stuff in the group back then?
I think so.
That really started about 96.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember
Dad
what
did
happened.
most of the MC work.
Okay.
Well, it was actually at that event. Charlie Waller, at this particular event, it was a 3-day event, and he would have game shows during the day and whatnot, and Michael got called up to do something, and I'm 6 years older, he was so shy growing
Really?
up. Oh, he was the shy one.
Really?
And and no, right, but you wouldn't know that now, but he truly was. So he just started, whatever it was he was doing, the people were cracking up. And that was like, there was a whole nother world there.
Did you love that?
Yeah, but it's like a fast car with bald tires. You know, you got to learn how to not hit.
Road.
You got to learn how to not hit the wall
That's
with
a
it.
good way to put it.
Yeah. So in the concerts, I was like, bam, here we go, and I'd have
So
to
were
learn.
you saying you didn't know where the limit was?
Yeah, I didn't know where the lane was.
Oh, really? Did you cross it a few times?
Yeah, and and it was more of, if you know the term, diminished returns.
So they did you get crickets or what?
It was crickets, and I would push too far, and you can go beyond funny real fast.
Yeah.
And it'd be annoying. And one of the problems is, and again, I'll go back to the ball. Sometimes you're just stepping on the gas, hoping you'll get traction, and you don't.
Oh.
And when you're young, you're like,
Yeah.
let's try it again, you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I hit the wall a few times, but
Now, did your dad, was he around there? He was in the group at that time?
you not well,
Well, up to 98. November
in 98, yeah.
So who kind of helped you figure out where those boundaries were? Just trial and error?
Yeah, trial for the most part. And I watched a couple cathedral videos over and over and over, and I would ask myself, why? Why did George do this? For example, he'd say something, the crowd's laughing, but he wants to get to his point quick. And I caught him doing that. He went, He's throwing away nothings, but the audience hears something and and then he's right into his point.
Oh, really?
It's really neat.
I never noticed.
And
you asked him about it?
No, I just saw it.
Oh, you
and then I would use it.
Okay.
And I would watch you. I would watch Gerald Wolfe. And then when we got around Bill, is when I think I really began to learn. Now, I never tried to imitate anybody, because I think that's a mistake. You've got to find your way of doing it. But I would ask myself, why? Everything you did, George, Bill, Gerald, there's a reason. Guys like that don't do anything without a reason. Now, I don't want to give your secret away.
Well, I didn't know there was.
But you were trying to get somewhere.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely.
And you knew where you wanted to go.
Right.
And I think that's the key.
Oh, yes.
And that's why I kept hitting the wall, because I didn't know where I was going.
Okay.
So when you finally learn what is the point you want to make, then you use these humor.
But the humor usually in a gospel concert happens in we're not trying to save you yet. This is the break down the wall section. This is the throwaway section. This is let's get friendly with the audience section and get them to, you can't laugh with your arms folded. So, it breaks down the walls.
I call it the coffee table. If we can get the audience here, then we can do this.
Oh, yeah. Like this. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now you can have something sweet and intimate.
Yes.
And help
That's
people.
true.
Now you're part of their life if you're at the coffee table.
So you've been doing this how many years now?
It's 30 years.
Okay, so when did this fella, Paul Lancaster, come along?
5 years ago.
Yeah.
This is one of the best singers in gospel music.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got that smooth, and this one, and this one. I mean, honest to goodness, this is Johnny Mathis.
I know, right?
This is Michael Bublé.
He's the sound.
Johnny Mathis. This is
Tiny Tim.
humor, anorexia. No, you do well on your weight. Do you ever have a weight problem?
I could.
You could
Very easily.
When I think of you, I think thin.
He's
Do you know what my trick is?
What?
I refuse to buy bigger clothes, and I'm too vain to let them pull.
Well,
So there's a line,
Yeah. Well, there's nothing worse than your buttons. Your buttons holding better than your face. So, Paul, what made you want to join this group? You told me today earlier, off camera, that you're as excited today as you are the day you joined.
Absolutely.
Really? Why?
Oh man, because it's just a great place to be. I've been looking for a home. Remember, I was in a group called the Mullins,
Right.
with them for 12 years, and I've been in a lot of great places since. But was looking for a home ever since then. Same kind of relationship, same kind of atmosphere and dynamic, and and because we're really close. I'm still close with those guys.
Oh yeah.
And And when they first called, in fact, and I got to know them through Jim Brady, because Jim Brady and I have been friends for 30 years.
Sure, I love him.
Yeah, we met each other through, I was with the Mullins when they were in evangelism, his family's in evangelism, and he met his wife, and Melissa, and that's and their family, that's how we all met. In that little Baptist evangelistic world back in the late 80s. And then through them, I knew I wanted to be a part of this organization these guys back in 06 when Ronnie took some time off for a couple of months. And they needed somebody to fill in. Jim said, hey, my buddy Paul can come in and fill in. And that's how we got to know each other. We had met before then, but we didn't get to know each other, I think, until...
And you're about to be a grandfather.
December, yeah, my oldest son Alex and his wife
Aren't
Alan.
grandparents looking younger? What is with that? Grandparents used to be, look like me.
I know.
And you've got how many grandkids?
I've got 4, and 5 will be here number 5 will be here in September.
And you don't have any yet?
No.
Your children are still young and living...
I have 12, 19, and 23. So
Okay. And
one of them's got an excuse.
and Christian travels with
He
you?
does, runs our sound.
What a great kid.
Good boy.
So this is a weird question because I hated this question when people would ask me.
Here we go.
But I never had an answer. So I'm going to ask you. What's the future for the Booth brothers? I never thought I'd get this far, so I didn't have an answer for that.
Us too.
But back up, edit. Do you have any 5-year goals? Or have you ever had any?
Yeah, we've always had 5, 10-year goals.
Really?
Yeah, and we're living one of them.
Really?
Where
Tell
we
me.
reduced the schedule. That we've taken a couple swings at that, trial and error, failure, but we finally got to it. We promised our wives years ago we would only do what we have to do, and so when we got to a place where we didn't have to do 150 dates a year, believe me, we wanted to pull back. No offense to being around the people, love y'all, but I like being home.
Yeah.
And so we're very fortunate to be able to do that.
So this year you're doing
75.
cut it in half.
Yeah.
Cut it in half, 2 cruises and a retreat. And,
Yeah.
What kind of retreat?
It's in Shipshewana, Indiana.
Okay.
It's us for basically 3.5 days. And
Is it a Booth Brothers?
It's about 225 people with us
During the day.
During the day.
And what we all did with
We'll
them?
have a morning session where we'll have a time of devotion, but then we'll have a Q&A and just
A lot of Q&A.
A lot of Q&A. People love to ask
a lot of
questions.
this, yeah.
Really?
Basically,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we spend an hour and a half goes by like that.
Isn't
and
it
then,
fun?
Then we eat lunch together, and then there's about a 4-hour, 5-hour window where they can shop, ride the horse and buggy, there. And it's Amish country, and and then in the evening, we give them front row tickets to the evening program and open it up to the public.
In the big hall there.
In the big hall there, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a fun place.
It's
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
So
You
we
just
two
gotta
of those.
You just gotta watch where you step.
And you'll know it if you.
yeah.
There are horses everywhere.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. One of the funniest things we ever saw in our lives. Right outside the Blue Gate is that Shell gas station. I think you've probably seen. I think it's gas station. Well, there's like cars getting gas, and then there's buggies tied up. I don't know what they're getting in there, but they're getting something. And I guess some of them horses had done so much in that area, one horse couldn't get his traction.
Oh my gosh.
You had to be there, but
It was just legs going like
I like to die. There was so much Poor horse.
You knew Mosey well, didn't you?
I think this is the first video, you were not there, the Red Rocks video, wasn't that the first
No, I
one?
was at the Red Rocks.
Okay, Russ sang for the first time with the vocal
Oh, that's
band.
right.
So on that trip, Mosey was on the bus because a couple years prior to that, his wife of 52 years,
52,
Wileen,
yeah.
had passed away.
Yeah.
And so we'd bring Mosey out on the road from time to time, and people loved to see him, man. He'd get up and sing Still Feeling Fine with us and all that.
Hey, what are all the songs he wrote?
Oh, where no one stands alone till the storm passes by. Then I met the master.
His hand in mine.
His hand in mine.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
Elvis
world. Goodbye.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
No.
yeah.
Have you read them?
But he was on that trip. I remember we had a green Silver Eagle bus, and this was back when we were driving, and we're coming home from wherever. Mosey, it's 2:00 in the morning. Mosey's sitting up there with me, and I said, Mosey, you think you might consider going out on a date with some girl? He said,
And how old was he?
gosh, I should know this.
He was 93, 94 when he passed.
Yes, so it was early 80s.
Early
80s,
Yeah.
okay.
So I said, do you think you might go out with a girl? And he said, I'll never forget. He said, what do I do?
Oh, he's ready.
He said, what? No, he's like, I don't know, what do I do?
What do I do?
And I remember driving thinking, I said, I don't really know. I said, I guess find somebody you think's cute and ask her out. He said, find somebody for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, man. And so, and forgive me if this sounds terrible, but I thought, now, I want to make sure it's somebody that loves him for him and not for maybe what they assume he has.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be critical towards people, but you never know what people's motives are, and I wanted to watch out for them. And I'm like, my mother-in-law, she wouldn't care.
What? Your mother-in-law?
My mother-in-law, she had never married.
Oh, no.
It was just Vicky and her mom. Vicky's dad rejected her. It's another story, but yeah, so they just grew up, just the two of them.
Oh.
Never married. And I thought, well, Martha, she wouldn't, as long as he's a good guy, that's all she cares. So I set them up. I called, I said, hey, you're going out with Mosey Lister. I am. And Mosey came, picked her up, and off they went, and they figured it out.
And they got married?
They got married. We're married for, what was it, 12 years?
Yeah.
And isn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the one who put you and your wife together.
Yeah.
Tell them that story.
So I went through a divorce in January of '03, and it was anytime you go through something like that, it can be heartbreaking. Anyway, long story short, we were playing a concert outside of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with the Gaithers, and a lady from the Plantation Baptist Church happened to see the show, and she went back and told the pastor, you need to have this group, the Booth Brothers. So long story short, they ended up booking us, and we came back for 2 years there. And I met Kim Lehman, who was the pastor's daughter, and knew nothing of her or anything. And make a long story short, we just said hi. And
Yeah.
But here's the thing: she was dating someone at the time. And I was I couldn't get her off my mind, And so when George Gaither passed away, Bill's father,
Right.
we all flew up to Indianapolis, and you were there.
Right.
And when it was after the graveside service, you needed a ride back to Indianapolis because you had to catch a flight, I guess, back to Houston. And Michael and I did back to Nashville. I said, ride with us, Mark. So you're in the back seat, and Michael's driving, and I'm in the front seat, and I'm telling you about this girl. And I said, and you, I don't know if you remember, you actually performed at their church in the early 80s.
Okay.
She said you were at their house, and she remembers you because you were in the recliner throwing your socks up in the ceiling fan.
Sounds like me. That sounds like you.
Good to be here.
That sounds like something I'd do.
So anyway, so I said, Mark, do me a favor. I said, say hi to her. She knows who you are. She remembers. So anyway, so you called. I dialed the phone. You answered, and you got her voicemail. And I don't recall what you said, but I got the call back, and I took it from there.
You sure did.
I sure did, yeah.
And 11 years later now?
13.
13.
This is 13, and 4 grandkids, and number 5's on the way.
God's good.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the restoration business.
Yes, he is. Amen.
All right, let's sing something else.
Lord, you know that I've been foolish, I've been blind. I've let my doubts and my confusion cloud my mind. I have walked in my own wisdom, I've been wrong. Take my hand and lead me back where I belong. restore my soul. In the valley, restore my soul. Mosey.
Another Mosey.
Another Mosey.
Yeah.
Have y'all done just a whole
1973.
Mosey record?
Our first album
Yes, sir.
was, I tell everybody, the first song we ever sang together was Bill Gaither's Because He Lived.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that went so well, the first album we did was 10 Mosey Lister songs.
Well, here's the thing, that Mark, a lot of people don't realize our original vision for the Booth Brothers was we had a lot of peers that we looked up to and where they weren't peers at the time, but heroes. One of them was Steve Green.
Oh, yes.
And our original vision was to be like a Steve Green vocal group.
Okay.
And that was kind of
More
the first
inspirational.
Very much.
Yeah, anthem.
Very much. Anthem and for the church. And,
We couldn't afford it.
yeah. I mean,
That's an
those
expensive
tracks,
sound.
orchestrations
There
and
you go.
everything.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
It's expensive. We couldn't afford to be there, so we turned into this.
Well, I like this.
Ah, yeah.
How many more can you do with that?
We got It's No Secret.
Oh, yeah, let's hear that.
Yeah, there's no secret.
Let's hear it.
The chimes of time ring out the news another day's through. Someone slipped and fell. Was that someone you may have longed for? Added strength, your courage to renew. Do not be disheartened, for I bring news to you. It is no secret what God can do. What He's done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open, He'll pardon you. It is no secret what God can do. It is no secret what God can
Oh, isn't that fantastic? With arms. And listen to me trying to sing after that. Isn't that beautiful? I loved reading your comments while they were singing. See, I pre-recorded that for those of you who tuned in late because I knew I'd be in Nashville today. Today is Monday, July 15th. And it is, what is it? 7:42 now, according to this watch. So I'm live. But I pre-recorded that. I pre-recorded a lot of things. I like doing that because then I can get the right shots I want. Of course, the impromptu-ness of going live. I think I like going live because with one word, I could ruin my whole career right now. just the right word. But I'm not going to do that. But I love it that you're here on Mondays. So Reba comes into town, and Philip B. Dare, the Mondays with Mark accompany us now. came in and played this song that Reba heard me say a statement. Well, you'll hear it in the intro. And then Reba kind of tells how, her journey to complete the song, and then she's going to sing it. And then I will see you next Monday. Let me tell you about this. Next Monday is going to be a sing-along with Mark and Lowry Carruthers, and Reba will be there too. And anybody else I can grab. I want it to be, something similar to the Christmas party kind of, a fun thing. But who knows what's going to happen. That's what I love about Mondays with Mark. They're always different, And I could see y'all saying, somebody sing while they're talking. And then when they talk, when they're talking, won't you sing? And then when they sing, won't you talk? Someone said, I like the talking right when they start singing. And I thought, that is funny. You can't please nobody. You can't please nobody. So I'm glad you were here today. I'm looking forward to shooting those dinner conversations tomorrow with my buddy Andrew Greer. And I'm looking forward to that drawing on July 31st when I find out who is going to be flown to Houston to have dinner with me and Andrew and Colleen and whoever else I decided of my friends to drag along. And then come beyond Mondays with Mark. And it's going to be fun. And also, the best thing is you're helping so many people hurting in Bangladesh. And, of course, you can go read all about that. Wasn't this fun? Aren't the Booth brothers incredible? I'm so thankful I can hear that baritone now. Before I learned it with the vocal band, I couldn't hear it all that well because it blends so good if you're doing it right. And Paul Lancaster does it right. Paul Lancaster, I love that guy. Love all those guys. Love you. Look forward to next week. Cynthia, am I doing better slowing down? Am I more relaxed? Paul, am I better?
Yes.
Cynthia said I was too hyper, y'all. So I'm trying to be more serious. But I don't know how long it'll last. I will see you next week. Can't wait. Bye, everybody. Oh, wait, I got to play Reba. Oh, my goodness. I was about to leave y'all. Here it is. Here it is, the intro and the song. Years ago, Reba Rambo evidently heard something I'd said, and I probably heard it from someone else, but that the reason why God is watching everything you do is because he loves you so much he can't take his eyes off of you. Is that what you heard?
That's exactly right. And I think writing, Mark, because we've talked so much about how through life it's like songs are gathered. You get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's like beef stew. You don't cook everything at once. This has to cook a little longer. And so you had said that to me. He loves me so much. You said he can't keep his eyes off me because I've noticed the alliteration. He can't keep. And that kind of stuck in my heart. But funny story, I had done a concert. And it was one of those concerts that was just tough. The people were tough. Everything was hard. And I remember finishing the concert and went out to the table to meet the people and sign autographs. And there was a man standing there, and he looked normal. I mean, he didn't look like a weirdo. Had his little suit on, his little vest. And he was waiting, which some people will if they want to tell you something personal. You know how it is. So after the crowd had kind of waned away, he started leaning over and talking in my ear, and it wasn't a prayer request.
Uh-oh.
And it so caught me off guard because I'm just sitting there smiling. It caught me so off guard. I was like, and I'd had a rough night. So I just kind of pushed him out of the way.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And bolted to the bus.
Oh, yeah.
And by this time, I was done.
Yeah.
I was like, I went and sat in the back of the bus, sat there. I'm snotting, crying, got snot to my toenails. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, God, if this is the best I got, if I'm going to have to sing with these crazy people and guys saying what they say in my ear, nasty stuff. And I'm standing there and I'm having a pity party, balloons, cake, and everything.
Yeah.
And I look up, and as clear as I see you, the Lord was standing in the aisle of the bus. And he had his arms folded, and he was patting his foot.
Uh-oh.
He looked just like my mother did when I threw a temper tantrum as a kid. And he looked at me and he said, Reba Faye Rambo. And it's bad with all three names. And he said, don't you, and because I'd said to myself, I'm just going to go work at Denny's. nothing wrong with working at Denny's, but
Right.
to me that was the thing. Anything but do this, anything but minister, anything but sing, anything. And so I'm going to work at Denny's, and he said, Reeves, he said, don't you know if you go to Denny's as a waitress, he said, I'll be sitting there at the counter ordering pancakes and sausage. And then he looked at me, and it was so sweet, and he said, and where can you go to get away from my love? Where could you go? If you make your bed in hell, I'll be there with you.
Yeah, that's what King David said.
Yeah, and that's what the Bible
That's
says.
what- yeah.
And so
He wrote that part.
But anyway, literally there was the white cardboard things of a pantyhose liner,
Yeah.
and I grabbed a pen and started scribbling that. But your idea, you were the hook, and all of a sudden that thing came up in me. He loves me so much he can't keep his eyes off me.
Right.
But when the second verse came, it says, "My Father always keeps His word. He said He'd never leave." That promise is more like a threat.
Yeah.
And then I remember the Lord had said, Reba, don't you know my promises are more threat than they are promises? Where can you go to get away from me? If I've begun a good work in you, girl, I will perform it. And sometimes we think, oh, these are sweet, precious promises.
Yeah. I'm not
No.
giving up on you.
Yeah, I am not giving up on you. And literally within 5 minutes that song was written. And I tried to get you to record it, but you never did.
I know, but I think I like it now. You know, it's weird because you know how I am. Songs grow on me. Well, what do you think? Let's have Reba sing it for us.
Oh, I'd love to.
Father's eyes are watching me no matter what I do. He's always got me on his mind. He's a parent through and through. Like a daddy in a noisy crowd. When I cry, he knows my voice. I'm flesh of his flesh, bone of his bone. I don't really have a choice. He loves me so much. He can't keep his eyes off me. You should see the way that he smiles at me when they say I look like him. And his arms are so big that where I am, that's where he'll be. He loves me so much. He can't keep his eyes off me. My Father always keeps his word, and he said he would never leave. That promise is more like a threat, so I might as well believe. If I tried to make my bed in hell, he'd just rip the place apart. Now who else is dying to love like that? I can't break my Father's heart. He loves me so much. He can't keep his eyes off me. Now you should see the way that he smiles at me when they say I look like him. And his arms are so big that where I am, that's where he'll be. He loves me so much. keep so much. Oh, he loves me so much. He can't keep his eyes off me.
I wanted to wait to that last smile. I love it when they look at the camera. Thank you, Reba,
Thank you, Reba.
for singing.
Beautiful.
This is my friend Paul Johnson, y'all. You met him earlier in the show. He has very fast Wi-Fi, but bad lighting. This is not Oprah lighting. This is like hang over the bar lighting. But
It's the best I got.
But thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for letting me use your Wi-Fi. I want to tell you, Paul Johnson is a guy that has been a mentor to me in many ways spiritually. He knows the Bible. He's actually had a heresy trial. Maybe we'll talk about that someday. And anybody who can survive a heresy trial is my kind of person. So I wanted him to, he said, I want to share something. And he said, he wanted to share this. I said, well, let's do it. And also remember, right before he does share that, the Rambo video. Have you seen the Rambo video yet? When I was young and had a mullet and I went over to their house. If you haven't seen it, scroll down on Facebook. It's on my Facebook page. All you on YouTube, come on over to my Facebook page and hear that Singing Rambo's video. That is the group that changed my life musically. So share with us, Brother Paul.
Well, first of all, for years, Mark, when he calls me, his first question is, what is God teaching you?
Yeah, what have you learned about God lately?
Right. So sometimes I have to make things up.
Well, not. Then I go check him out.
Other times I've learned things. This last week, this is the first time I've seen this, and it really spoke to me, so I want to share it. The verse that we know so well in Ephesians 2:8, by grace you are saved through faith. I've always heard that as we're saved by grace, not by works, and that we use that verse for that.
Right.
But that it's our faith.
Through our faith.
Through our faith.
We are saved.
But we turn faith into a work.
Okay.
By doing that. And a lot of times people think, well, I don't have enough faith. Maybe I'm not saved. This is the insight I had this week that I got through, I have to admit, through Tom Wright. Tom Wright is a wonderful Bible scholar.
Is that N.T. Wright?
N.T. Wright.
So this
is
crazy.
Out of...
show them the Kingdom New Testament. I've not heard of this one.
Actually,
anyway, tell me what you're.
I don't want to use that one. It's this one. It's a David Bentley Hart, but it's saying what Tom has been teaching lately.
Okay.
And it says, "For you are those who in grace have been saved by faithfulness."
And this. Well, let me read that again. For you are those who in grace have been saved by faithfulness, and this God's gift is not from you, nor from observances, so that no one may boast. So
it's not our faith.
Right. For you are have been saved by the faithfulness of God. Is what you
the faith in the context of what Paul is saying in this chapter. It's the faithfulness of Jesus.
Pretty good.
It's the faithfulness of Jesus.
Yes.
That saves us. It's not our faith that we work hard to, squeeze out of ourselves.
Only Jesus can save us, y'all. And he's done it on the cross, rose from the dead, and I'm so glad that he is so crazy about you. I asked the Lord, I got quiet and said, Lord, what do you want me to tell these people? And then I shut my eyes and I listened. And I heard in my spirit, in my brain, tell them how crazy I am about them. And I said, Lord, they've already heard me say that many times. And he said, tell them again. He is crazy about you. You hold on.
He can't take his eyes off.
Oh, yeah. He can't.
Thank you.
It's not because he's waiting to pop you in the head if you mess up. No, what healthy father is waiting to pop their child in the head? And our Father is the healthiest of them all. The only reason you know how to love your children is you're a broken image of his love. I mean, you're his image, right? We're made in the image of God. That is how we innately know to adore our children. Or else we, if you're like me, I never had any, so I don't want to be around them, right? No, that's not true. I adore children, but I just said that to be funny. But I contend that the only reason parents understand the love of God better than people who've never had children is because they've had children, and they like that guy, the Craig, the sculptor.
Mm-hmm.
He is my age, I think, and he's got a 3-year-old daughter, and it's his first child. And he told me I never understood what love was until I looked at her. I said, now you get it.
Unconditional love.
You get it.
Yeah.
You don't have no excuse because you've experienced it. Anyway, this is good, Paul. Thank you for that. I don't know if it's true, but it's good. Now we'll have to check that out. NT, we don't know about NT Wright. No, he's one of the real deals.
He's good.
NT Wright, y'all. He's one you can trust his scholarship, and it is cool to think, for by grace are you saved through his faithfulness, and not of yourselves. It is a gift of God. Well, that works for me.
Nothing to brag about.
I love that. All glory to Jesus. All right, love y'all. See you next week.
Bye.
I think Jesus is something else.